2, 3, 4. When I'm lonely, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer.
Oh, when I want you only, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer.
And when the weather's stormy and daybreak is far, I'd throw an extra $1.50 on the bar. There's no sense in saving pennies if I don't know where you are. Oh, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Beer Show. I'm Steve B, and joining me via Zoom is my good friend and drinking buddy, Eric T. How you doing, Eric?
Doing good, Steve. How you doing?
Good to see you. Fantastic.
Likewise.
Great. Well, we'll see how this goes. I mean, hopefully we won't have to do too many of these like this.
No, but it's a novel approach. It's just the new normal, I guess, is what they're calling it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, it's some strange times when you can't even get together with your buddies and have a beer, but we're gonna do it virtually, and we'll see how it goes. We do have three. I'm not going to say great beers, but we've got three beers that we're going to go down the list with you, and we're going to start it out with. I'm going to let Eric introduce our first couple of beers.
Right on. Today we're kind of emphasizing Mexican beers today. And this has been long in the planning, well before coronavirus and all that stuff came to be. But as luck would have it, we are starting with Corona. And I have the Corona Extra over here. And that's because it's extra big. Actually, it's not because it's extra big. I was told the extra is because it has extra special bitters in there. So this is a little more bitter than your typical Corona lager. But let's give it a taste and see what we got.
Yeah, absolutely. I have the same here. Of course, I have a Corona Extra. I have the 12-ounce, the little guy version. I just noticed, just opening it up, quite a bit of bubbles, carbonation coming through to the neck of the bottle. It's obviously it's a Mexican, kind of a Mexican Pilsner lager. So with that, hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Weird.
That is a little on the lighter side compared to a lot of things we've been drinking lately. But it's clean and refreshing, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's crisp. It's got a nice flavor. I don't dislike it. There's not a lot of flavor here. I got to be honest.
No, but it's not meant to be overbearing flavor. It's a refreshing beer. You got to. I think if you remember where it's from, coming from Mexico,
right.
Typically a warmer climate, out in the sun a lot. I mean, the last thing you want to drink is a heavy IPA out, sitting out in the sun all day. So I can imagine it's nice sitting around beachside, poolside.
It's very true. It's a light beer. It's a good summertime beer. It is from Mexico City. Well, they have breweries actually around the country in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It is the top-selling beer, one of the top-selling beers worldwide. In fact, since 1998, Corona has been the number one top-selling imported beer to the U.S.
You're kidding? Wow, that's 22 years running. That's a pretty good run.
For sure,
that's a really good run.
Yeah, for sure. ABVs, I came out at 4.5 on the alcohol by volume on this one.
Right, and from what I was reading, they could go up to 5.4 depending on which version of Corona you get. Okay. But generally, they're in the 4.6, 4.5 area. Yes. They have a couple of different models. I'm just noticing all the bubbles in here. This thing's really going off. I don't know if that's because of the glassware or what it is.
There you go. Oh wow. Yeah, that's just going crazy. Amazing. Yeah, so I elected to keep mine in the bottle. And the reason being, I know that
lime in that.
Yeah, commonly this is served with a wedge of lime or lemon. And so I do happen to have a couple of lemon wedges ready to go.
With that. Took me a while to find the lime out there. I got plenty of lemons in lemon tree. They're dropping right now, but the margarita tree is not working yet. We depleted that over first week of quarantine.
Right.
So
I don't doubt it.
Harvest.
I don't doubt it. So a couple of things on the lime here is that there's a couple of different reasons why this is the case that they serve it this way. One being is very straightforward and functionality wise, it keeps the flies away.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's a great reason. I mean, if you've ever had a fly into a relatively full beer, it kind of ruins the mood, you know?
Yeah.
Get it out.
Right.
Now, I've heard one of the other reasons for that is to clean and disinfect the top of the glass. The citric acid would, it would probably do away with many of the germs up there. I don't know, not to say anything for cleanliness or anything like that, but these things ship all over the world. They pass through a lot of hands, a lot of warehouses. So I don't always wipe it down with the towelette, but a slice of lime wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right, and in this day and age, I mean, cleanliness seems to be the thing.
Right. Yeah. Especially around Corona.
The other thing yes, exactly, right. And of course, the other thing you can do is push it right into the bottle, which I imagine that just came naturally to a lot of people. When you get served a beer with a lime in the top of the neck of the bottle, you got to push it there.
It probably fell in more so than got pushed in.
That's probably accurate as well.
And I was told the third reason is because Coronas are served in a clear bottle. Clear bottles allow all the ultraviolet rays to come in there, and sometimes results in skunky beers. I guess the UV rays deplete something called the isoalpha acids, at least kind of a skunky flavor. So the citric acid and lemons or limes are gonna kind of counteract that and kind of balance out the flavor.
Yeah, I noticed right away. I just pushed a lime into the bottle, and I noticed right away that it does add like a very nice tartness to the beer.
It does.
And it definitely adds a little bit more of a flavor because really I don't get a lot of flavor out of these Coronas. They're pretty much kind of just water. It's a light lager to me.
It's a very light beer.
Yeah.
Which is that's what it's made to be.
Again, that's it's what you kind of want to have on the beach on a hot day. In fact, the last time, I mean, it was many, many years ago when I was in Mexico City, but I can remember you down there, you order literally a bucket of beer and then bring you 10 Coronas in a big silver bucket full of ice. Just a great experience.
Oh.
So I'm going to go to the beer light. I don't know that you folks can see it on camera one, so I'm going to just turn my computer a little bit. Hopefully you can see that, Eric.
I see it.
And everybody else. And I'm going to light it up.
Wow.
Is it going to stay there? That's the question.
That's pretty transparent.
And I don't know if this is going to really...
You got to tilt that a little down if you could, Steve. There you go. Just get some of the glare out.
Yep.
Yeah, we're looking at 1 or a 2, huh? Probably a 2.
It looks like a solid 2. Absolutely solid 2.
Definitely one of the lightest beers we've tried.
Right. Cool. I'm going to spin you back. There we go. So it's not my favorite beer. I just like other different styles of beer. I like ales and browns and stouts and IPAs, of course. And so with that said, I can't go any higher than a 6 on this one. 6 out of 10. Nice, refreshing beer. Like I said, it's crisp and clean. It's great on the beach, great in the summer. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I tend to agree with you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You cut out there for a second. I was going to say I tend to agree. It for what it does for a lager beer, it tastes all right. It's I'm going to go 7 maybe, just because it is a good lager, and for what it's supposed to be, it's doing very well. It's refreshing. Once you add the lime, it has a little bit of flavor to it, and you can sit out in the sun and drink these things all day long, especially 4.6% alcohol.
Yeah.
It isn't going to hurt you.
exactly. I mean, it is a top-selling beer worldwide for a reason, and so I got to give it some props for that. It came about in 1925. Another interesting little factoid that I picked up too is that in Spain and a few other countries in Europe, it's not called Corona; it's called Coronita, which directly translates to the crown. And so if you look at the label, of course, you will see the crown both on the front and on the back of the bottle as well.
You see a crown there.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little note. And then obviously I wanted to just quickly touch on the packaging. These are really cool in 7-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So they come in the 7-ounce. Yep, 7-ounce bottle. Obviously the 12-ounce bottle, 12-ounce can. And then the one you have there is, how much is that one? 20?
What is this? It's
and then
24 ounce.
24. So, okay, you got a couple of beers in there. As you mentioned, the clear glass is a problem because the UV rays, and it can skunk the beer, it can oxidize the beer, it can change the flavor of the beer. And so this is a beer that you definitely don't want to leave out in the open in sunlight. You want to keep it refrigerated. And then I do want to also, before we move on to the next beer, I just want to show you guys one other type of Corona that I found. And it's this one's huge. This is a quart. This is a quart of beer. And it's the Corona Familia.
That's my kind of Corona.
Look at that.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So this one is a little bit higher in the ABVs on the alcohol content, and it also has a much. It's got more flavor.
Sure. Is that a darker beer? Looks like
No.
the package anyway.
Same, absolutely.
Really?
Same. The brown bottle is nice though, because it obviously protects from those UV rays getting in there and ruining the beer. A little bit higher in alcohol, a little bit more flavor. I definitely highly recommend this one over and above the Corona Extra.
Wow, that's good to know. I wasn't even aware of that one.
Yeah, I just saw it today. I'm like, oh, what's this one? So,
Sure.
I gave it I tried it earlier and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once again, before we're going to move on to our next beer pretty quick, but I do want to quickly mention, and it is kind of a fun way to have a Corona, and that is it's a beer cocktail. And I'm sure you've seen this, Eric, where they take the 7-ounce, the little bottle of Corona, and they tip it upside down into a margarita.
You're right.
Yeah. So I think that
sounds.
it's a lot of fun as well.
I think you out the rest of my afternoon.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's a nice way to have it. It does add something to the margarita. I don't know. It's got a great presentation, and that's a fun party beer or beer cocktail, I should say. Give that a try if you can. Well, I'm ready to move on if you are.
Sure, absolutely. What do we got next, Steve?
Hey, let's jump into the next Pacifico. Let's go jump into Pacifico. And really, we picked these Mexican beers because we were thinking Cinco de Mayo, and so that's really where this whole idea came about. I realize we're about a week or two early, but we try to be ahead of what's coming down the pike. So, yeah, Pacifico.
Sounds good. And again, I went large on Pacifico. La Cerveza del Pacifico. So named because it's from Pacific, the brewery right on the Pacific in Mazatlan, was it?
That's right, Mazatlan. Yep.
And the funny thing is, this one here is also brewed by the Modelo Group or Group Modelo.
Right.
In Mazatlan, Mexico City, and a couple other places, I would imagine. Owned by, but not distributed by, Anheuser-Busch, InBev. In America, they don't own the brand in America. Apparently, it's distributed by the Constellation Group up here in America, but I'm not exactly sure how all the all the backdoor deals go on this, but that's the information. So I know the Constellation Group's involved, Anheuser-Busch is involved, but basically all three of the beers we're tasting today are from the Grupo Modelo down in Mazatlan.
Right, exactly, and it's Mazatlan is it's brewed. The brewery is right on Pacific Ocean in a Pacific Ocean port of Mazatlan. They have been there since about 1899, so it's like 120 years old.
It's been around for a bit. Yeah.
Of course, it's changed hands quite a few times. I don't know that they're brewing right now. I think that the Mexican government has all but shut down brewing
somehow they came up to the conclusion that it's non-essential.
It's non-essential, which
I don't know how they came up to that conclusion.
I find that just mind-boggling. I mean, if anything's more essential now than ever, it would be a beer. But yeah, like you, I went with the big one. They do come in a bunch of different sizes. They come in a 6-ounce, 12-ounce, 32-ounce, and the 1.2 liter.
Wow!
So I love their logo. You've got the life ring there, and then the anchor inside, which is pretty cool.
Right, and if I remember right, this was started out by 3 German guys in Mexico, and that was supposed to have something to do with them coming over on a ship or something.
Yes, I kind of saw the same thing. It's 3 German guys who obviously migrated over to the U.S. and made their way south, and that's why we have this Mexican style Pilsner style light lager. And again, it's similar to the Corona. I want to say certainly on the ABV side, it's a 4.5, so it's right in line with the Corona. And I'm going to see how it tastes.
Cheers.
Cheers, indeed.
I think it's got a little more flavor than the Corona, just straight out of the bottle, with nothing added to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's got a little more flavor. It's a little different.
Tasting a little honey in there almost. Something sweet,
It is a little bit sweeter somehow. Yeah, no, I like it. I like this one.
Yeah, again, it's it's not up there. It's not meant to be some of the craft beers, not on par with the craft beers in terms of overall flavor. But again, it's a nice light beer. It's a Pilsner beer, so it's going to be lighter.
That's it.
It's just that type of beer.
That's what it is. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to actually pour a little bit out in the glass.
All right.
Take a look at that color. I don't have our usual glasses, but I do have a nice Stella Artois glass. Oh, look at that.
And I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference between the two.
No, I think the colors, as far as SRMs, we're like right in there on a 2 again.
Yeah, it's pretty close to tequila colors. If you drink gold,
more or less the same carbonation. So
yeah, I might have a little less carbonation in this one, but it could have been the pour as well. And the head I noted on this one dissipated pretty quickly, as opposed to the Corona. The head stuck around for a little bit. Right.
I'm just going to light up the beer light again. Little different kind of a glass to do this with, but definitely some light getting through there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's a 2. I'm calling it a 2.
I concur.
Very nice. I don't know that I'd put a lime in this one, but it probably wouldn't hurt.
Give it a squeeze, see what happens.
Yeah, okay. I'll drop one in there as well. Oh yeah, making a mess over here. I think that all these kind of Mexican beers, man, it does sort of give it a kick.
Yeah, they soak up the lime pretty well.
It adds a it adds a little lime flavor. It's almost like a shandy. It reminds me of a shandy, you know, like in the
Yeah.
UK, that's a 7-Up and a beer, a light
Mhm.
lager. So that lime definitely gives it that little bit of a flavor, almost like a Sprite. But again, not much flavor. I'm still hanging around 6 or maybe a 7 on this one. This is, I'm going to say, slightly better than Corona Extra.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.5 on this, or 7.25 maybe. It's
Yeah.
slightly Corona. It's got more flavor.
Yep.
For sure, it's got more flavor.
Any other notes on this one?
Not a whole lot. No. Made in Mexico, Group Modelo. This one here was founded in 1899.
Yeah.
So this is one of the older beers by that group.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's obviously if it's been around for 120 years, they're doing something all right. You know, people are drinking it, people are liking it. Probably doesn't have the marketing and the mass appeal as Corona, but it's probably not too far behind either.
No, I think it is.
I know here in the islands it's pretty popular. You know, traveling around the country and around the world, you probably see Corona more often, but I'm not surprised that Pacifico's not too far behind.
Right, exactly. I think Corona's more worldwide, more well distributed. But this beer it's a good one. I think that being in the can is better. It protects it from the sun.
I'm with you.
And these
that could be the difference between the two, really.
And obviously, these beers go great with just about any kind of grilled, sizzling fajita or anything. You name your favorite Mexican food, that's gonna go great with it.
Yeah.
It's making me hungry.
Me too. I'm thinking dinner.
Some steak fajita.
Some carnitas or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Okay, well, hey, you know what? It's amazing how fast the time runs away from us. So I'm going to set that right out there like we always do and show you the labels if you can. And we're going to move right into our third and final beer, which I'm very much looking forward to. Another Mexican beer. And it's Modelo. We're going into Modelo.
All right. And again, I got the Modelo Especial. Especial. The one thing that stood out about this one for me,
I got the same.
You know, just in terms of preliminary research, you know, all beers typically have the same ingredients. You know, water, barley, hops, and yeast.
Right.
They're advertising this as having corn in there as well. So it's been a while since I've had a Modelo, so it'll be interesting to taste that.
Likewise. There we go. Well, it's another nice big can of beer. And I'm going to try it right out of the can, and then I'm going to also go.
We're going to call this the 24-ounce episode instead of Mexican episode.
Yes, sir.
I've been big on all these guys.
Hey, cheers, Eric.
Cheers.
Wow, that's nice. So again, I think we've done this right because we started with the kind of less flavored beer like the Corona Extra, and gone up the ladder here. I would say big time. This one's got quite a bit more flavor to me. Again, and it's another Mexican style Pilsner light lager, but I think you're going to find that the color I can already see that the color it's got more amber color to it.
Yeah, this could be a 2.5, almost a 3. This is Modelo. This is the Pacifico.
Okay. Yep. And I can easily tell it's up there. This one's, and look, and the head too. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean,
the head is really nice and bubbly.
Yeah. This is almost as bubbly as the Corona. This head just as well.
Yep.
And you're right. This has a little more flavor and a little more well-rounded flavor in my mind than either of the other two.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you. This is, I think, the best so far. This is the best of these three, anyway.
Yeah.
I think that, again, it's 1925. It came around at the same time as Corona. The ABVs on it is 4.4. So again, just to reiterate, it's a Pilsner style, Mexican Pilsner style lager.
Yeah.
And it has.
I'm not sure.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure exactly where the ABVs come involved with the different delineation between a regular beer and a light beer, but I've seen in some places they're classifying this as a light beer because of the ABVs, because it was under 4.6 or 4.7. I don't know if there's any set fast rule for that, but most of these beers would fall into that 4.5, 4.4, 4.6. So all three of these beers are relatively light, which is, again, thinking the climate in Mexico a little warmer, you're probably going to sit outside, drink a few more cervezas.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers to the cerveza.
Keeping the ABVs down there is probably a good marketing tool, They should come in 8-packs then.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll be taking a little bit of a longer siesta.
Exactly. I think we should write to them and tell them that they need to market this in 8-packs or maybe 10-packs. The 6-packs just isn't doing it,
Even in a 24-ounce can, it's not doing it.
We can do 6-packs of those.
So it's interesting too that we mentioned the Germans, and it is interesting how all these beers have German and Austrian roots. They all tie back to the old country. And that's, I think, fantastic that they brought, obviously those immigrants at that time brought their farming skills and their brewing skills and many other things that just helped, make these pretty good beers. I mean, I'll say they're great. They are great beers. Not my first choice, but they're nice beers. Yeah,
I mean, it's not my go-to beer, but at the right time in the right place, it's really a good beer.
Absolutely, yeah. I would probably give this one, a 7.5 on this one for me. I've gone up.
Yeah, you keep going up on every one of these. I'm thinking about the same, about a 7.5 on this one.
Okay.
I like the flavor is a little bit better to my palate than Pacifico, but not by much. I think they're both good, and I think they both I consider them both equal. This might suit my palate a little bit better, but that's all personal preference.
Little bit better, right?
It's all personal preference, and it doesn't matter. Tomorrow I could tell you something differently. If I was drinking Fat Tire instead of something else in the morning, I'd feel differently,
Yeah, no, I like them. I do. I think the Modelo is my favorite, and then followed by Pacifico, and then Corona. Exactly in the opposite order that we drank them is how I would rate them.
I think so too. I think we worked our way up from bottom up.
Yeah, perfect.
I think we're probably going to get a lot of hate mail on that too, because I got a couple of friends, who swear by Coronas.
Yeah,
and a couple of neighbors too, for that matter.
Oh boy. All right. Well, they may not like this episode, but
I got half a Corona waiting for them if they come on over tonight.
Hey, we got to tell it like it is. And,
it's just our opinion.
That's the
deal.
deal.
Nothing to do with nothing.
We're out of time for this show, but it's great seeing you, Eric. Thank you so much.
Likewise, Steve. Good to see you. Always good to have a beer with you.
Cheers, and always a good time. Thanks for watching the Beer Show, and please stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully we won't have to do too many more of these shows, but until then, stay safe and don't drink and drive. Thanks for watching the Beer Show. I'm Steve B.
Eric T. Cheers.
2, 3, 4. When I'm lonely, I drink a fancy beer. Fancy beer. Oh, when I want you only, I drink a fancy beer. Fancy beer. And when the weather's stormy and daybreak is far, I'd throw an extra $1.50